to IAIF Innovative Authors International Forum. I'm Mahalakshmi Nayak, Creative Head of Innovative Authors International. So here we have a guest with us to share her experience with Desert Storms as well as IAIF. Let's welcome. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Tell me, okay, go ahead with this.
So can you start with a brief introduction about yourself for our audience?
Okay, I am Minnie Oommen. I'm a retired vice principal. I've been in the UAE for nearly 4 decades. And I'm now retired and I'm settled in Trivandrum. And from here, like when I was there, I always loved that place. And I wanted to always write. In fact, I have written a couple of articles about Dubai or Abu Dhabi and places like that. So when Desert Storm approached me on putting something in a book which they are publishing in UAE, it was quite exciting to join them. And right now I'm doing some business of my own. We are into manufacturing masalas and things like that. So that's part of my passion, and teaching is part of my profession. So
Any other books that you've written?
I have written actually 2 books which I've written and I've published. Both are self-publication, like I've done it on my own. And so the first one is a biography of my parents. Second one is for my church, which is related to our holy service, which in Malayalam we call Holy Kurbana. So that normally it is absolutely in Malayalam, and the younger generation don't always follow the Malayalam because the language is so pure that children find it difficult. So I myself have a problem because I am born and brought up in Calcutta, so I can't understand everything that the priest or the altar boys are saying. So I thought I should bring about a change and probably publish something in English, not exactly repeating that or putting it in Manglish, what they call. That doesn't help because even reading Manglish becomes even more difficult.
Yeah.
So I started approaching priests and bishops to help me. I got many rejections from many of them because this is not exactly an area where women are entertained. It's always a man's world. So I didn't give up on that, though I got many rejections. Finally, I came across a priest who also was born and brought up outside Kerala. So he understood where I was coming from and what the next generation requires. So he was willing to help me. So that's when my journey for writing actually started. So with his help, I got a lot of information. Then I put it all together. Editions after editions happened till I managed to bring about. And I put a lot of pictures so children understand. Because normally when we look at an altar, there are so many things. It's a very beautifully decorated place. But none of us know what that decoration is all about. It looks like it's decorated just because it's a holy place. But that's not the point. Every bit of thing on that altar or around the altar has a meaning to it. This is never explained. This was not explained in the past and definitely not explained in English. I don't know if it is explained somewhere, some book in Malayalam. So I had to bring about that change. I wanted to. I took it up as a challenge. It took me about 2 years to put the book together. Then I got one of our bishops to go through it and approve it and make corrections and all that. And finally, the book got published. First time it was only 1,000 copies. I thought I might struggle to sell it. But that finished off in like no time, like hot dogs. So then I had to get a second publication done, and second edition. That was 2,000 copies. Almost that whole thing is done with. There's no more books left, maybe a couple of books left. So that's where the journey started. And the biography, because my parents were simple, and yet I feel they were great people in the sense like there a lot of value to things they did, which I wanted the grandchildren to understand and learn. Because they didn't get an opportunity to stay with my grandparents for long since we were abroad and things like that. So I said I put together some details of their life and they can read it. But when I started thinking it will be maximum 50 pages. That's the maximum I could put together. But when the book was published, it had 235 pages. Landed up putting that many pages, some pictures. Then I thought, see, I could always talk the best about my parents. But when that comes from somebody else, that so and so did this, that's when it carries more weightage. So then I started approaching people who knew them, some of their relatives, some of their friends, people from church, from different walks of their life. I started collecting matters, and together it came out to be a 235 pages book. So that was a good thing at the end of the day for me.
So you said about your first journey, but then how did you discover the writer?
See, honestly, I still don't know where and when I started, but I know when I was like 13, 14, maybe very young, I wrote a book. But it was never published, it has not seen daylight, because I thought I'm no great author. I was too embarrassed to even show it to my parents or my siblings. There are 6 of us. I couldn't share it with even one person. I hid it in one of my boxes and I left it. I said, I'm going to someday finish the book and publish it. But then again, that nervousness, that really, can I do it? Am I even worthy of writing a book and things like that? I hid it away, tucked it away so badly that after my marriage, when I left for Gulf, I left a message at home. Don't touch these boxes of mine because I have some precious things. But God knows who did the cleaning, clearing. They would have thought, Anne is gone, let's clear up her room. They cleared, and this book obviously didn't. It was just a simple notebook. So that just vanished, God knows where. So I never got it back. So at that age, I did write something. How good or bad, I'm yet to know if I ever find it. But I honestly started writing when I was in Abu Dhabi, because there were many moments where I felt very lonely. I go for work, children go to school, my husband goes to work, and there's nothing much to do. When you come back, also it's one routine work. So I started missing my parents, I started missing my family, and so many things that I used to do. The liberty we have in India, we don't have in the Gulf. So when I go into those moods, I just took a diary and started writing. I have a lot of poems, a lot of articles, just random ones. But I've written a lot, and that's where it all started. So whenever I get into a depression mood or a excited mood, or even about a religious point, suddenly I think that it's time to tell people how to thank God. See, we have 100 reasons to thank God, but do we actually do it all the time? We don't. Just now the dog didn't bite you. You should thank God. But we don't. We say, oh, yes, take, that's it. Or we call our amma, appa, whatever we can do. But there is this little element in us which keeps us always safe. So I start thinking like that. That's where I started writing. I went on, and now I write so many things. In fact, there are 2 or 3 books which are in the pipeline, just waiting to be published when I get time. One is on diabetes. I'm diabetic from the age of 35. I'm 63 today. So many years, how I managed. I'm not like a chronic diabetic where it's out of control or something. No, but I've managed. So those 2 can manage. And this, when it comes from a doctor, people want to rebel, me included. Like when the doctor says, don't do this, I want to do it. It's just a human tendency. But if I'm diabetic and I'm telling another diabetic person, try and avoid sugar, try and avoid starch, or eat a little if you're so craving, but that kind of thing, when it comes from another person of your status, you don't mind listening. So the diabetic book is based on my journey through diabetes. This actually helps because I've broken up the body parts into different, like the brains, the eyes, and the heart. And like that, I've just broken down the parts and how diabetes can affect each of these parts. Okay, but I'm not a qualified doctor, so who's going to read my book? So what I've done is broken it up in parts, and I've got doctors to certify each part. So if I've written about the brains, I make sure the neurologist has seen it and he's certified that this is actually correct what she's written. This can happen to patients, the patient needs to take it, so like that. So I think the book will do well once it is out. At least from layman's point of view, there are a lot of books out in the market, but you don't understand half of those books with the big terms that they use in those books. So I put it in a very simple layman's language.
Yes, that's the research you did.
I hope so. That was like about 15-20 years of research. And those days there was no internet, nothing. So from library, I get books and I read and understand. And then from encyclopedia, I bought a whole encyclopedia back in the days just to learn more about this. Because where else every day I can't go to the library. So I bought the encyclopedia itself so that I could learn through that and do some justice to the book. But somehow this looks like it's turned out well. Yet to
Anyway, all the best for time.
thank you.
And like, what is your favorite genre? Poetry, novel?
Novels, maybe. That's just, it's very light on the mind. There's nothing serious about it. Talking about that, I've even written I don't know if I know, it's not a novel, it's actually short stories. So basically, that takes me back to the youngsters where, a lot of thoughts are there in my mind. And thoughts, naughty thoughts, not good feeling thoughts, not, it's just naughty. What goes through an adolescent age or what goes through a teenager's mind, that kind of thoughts, I put it together as a, what do you call it, as a short story selection. And just a few poems in between, like after every short story, one poem, so that matches up with this and it gives like a breaker kind of thing. So, yeah, I think short stories maybe I do.
So, how was the experience with Desert Storms and AI? How did you come to AI?
I don't recollect her name, I think Sindhu, Sindhu Nandakumar. She had contacted me and I think we are both in one group called WEN, where we are both members of that, it's a women entrepreneurs group. So she had called me up one day, I don't know why or where she got the details about me, but she called me and then we had a long chat. It was quite interesting talking to her because she understood where I was coming from and I too could relate to things she was saying. It was so late night and I was trying to call her because her line was getting cut and she called me because she's I think in Dubai.
Yeah, she's
So Abu Dhabi. So I couldn't make the calls and she was calling me. And through the journey I understood that she has put together a platform where budding authors and poets can put their work together and it was a good journey. A lot of back and forth messages just to make sure we are both on the same platform. And I think I've had a lot of communication with you also in the journey, and that was a new journey, new lessons learned. It's nice.
So, yeah, this is what we have to just ask from you. I think it will be fine for us. So, thank you. We have a very good meeting and expect your contribution in the future to IAI. We are going to see a big future. All the blessings.
Thank you very much for coming and spending time with us for this conversation, for taking our relationship one step ahead by meeting up personally. Thank you so much.